Greetings. Hey, it's Christine. Welcome to another 10-minute sketching session with me. So, today we are sketching a specific kind of pine cone. And I asked you earlier in the description what you thought it was. And I'm going to move some of these other ones. And this huge sugar pine cone, we're not drawing that. That's too big to draw. We want to get it in here. And sometimes it's hard to draw older pine cones because they've opened up like this. It's really hard to see their structure. And also bigger and more complex cones like this take a while. So we're going to be doing this one. And I am going to make sure it doesn't move by affixing it here with my eraser there. And that should help keep it in one place. Okay, and I'm going to draw it a little bit bigger than it is. And we are going to do just 10 minutes, like I promised, so that we can get going. And just to show you that it only takes a few minutes a day to get into your right brain and really enjoy some drawing. And as usual, I'm going to start out with a graphite pencil, but it's a lot quicker to add some shading if I use a charcoal. So I'm going to use my charcoal pens too. And I might do a little highlights with some eraser and with one of my white pens. So any guesses about what kind of cone this is? So this comes from a national park where I actually used to work, Sequoia National Park. So this is a giant sequoia tree cone, conifer cone, and the giant sequoias are endemic to California, although they used to live around the world before climate changed millions of years ago. And now they're just in the central Sierra Nevada mountains. And I actually used to work as a biologist at Sequoia National Park. So this cone has a lot of meaning for me. And these trees can get over 200 feet tall. They can live several thousand years, and they have the widest girth of any tree, as big as this studio, up to 20 feet in diameter. So they're just amazing. So anyway, let's go ahead and make this bigger. And we are going to get our lights closer. There we go. We don't have any shadows there. And yeah, so I'm going to set the timer and we're going to start. So pine cones have, they have a little stem here. And then I'm just going to make a big oval. I'm going to make this larger so that you can see it better. And it is good practice to draw things larger or smaller than they are. And I'm going to be looking at mine from a little bit different angle. Actually, what really helps me if I take a picture of it from the same angle that you're at, and then I can draw from that a lot more easily. So I'm going to do that because it's not easy. And I always suggest that people, look at something before they start drawing it. And the really cool thing, actually, I don't know if this shows up better. Well, I got the lights there. But anyway, cones have this really interesting pattern of crisscrosses, and they're not random. You can see here, this one has them too. And so they have a really interesting crisscross pattern. And we don't want to get too in the weeds because we don't have a lot of time here. But there's kind of this pattern and this pattern. So I'm just drawing the sort of crisscrosses. And what you'll notice once you look at something, and that's the interesting thing about drawing, is that you'll notice that one of the crisscross patterns is steeper than the other. So this is going to be steeper here. And then there's going to be another one that's kind of a little bit less steep. And I'm just kind of, doing it easy there. There we go. So yeah, this is the giant sequoia. And so then I am going to draw in using my soft charcoal pencil, kind of these shadow areas, and then I'll get a little detail into each of these triangular areas. So anyway, I got the stem here, and then I've got the these triangular areas here. And yeah, you could really get in the weeds and get really intimidated about how to do this, but it's okay. You just kind of go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Plants are easy that way. And so, yeah, the crisscrosses just kind of help you keep track of where you're at. Uh, and uh, and then you get these kind of like diamond shapes. And my again, mine's going to look a little bit different than yours might because I'm looking at it at a little bit different angle. But plants are really malleable, so they're going to look really different. So they're not like an animal that has to have two ears and two eyes and one nose. So yeah, this is the giant sequoia. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some shadowing, and the shadows will be deepest right here in the middle because the sun, I always like to put my sun icon, will be showing a little bit at the edges. And so it'll be darkest in the middle here, and then it'll be a little bit lighter going around the edges because again, the sun is going to be shining. And so I will just not press down as hard. And once I get this basic shape, I'm going to, yeah, add some detail. Okay. And so, yeah, then you notice sometimes when there's something that repeats a lot like this and we don't have a lot of time, I might just put some details in part of it and then finish more of it later. So, like these ones that you can see kind of straight on better. And I don't know, let's see. Let me see if I can get closer. There's a little closer. Yeah. So they have each of these kind of triangular areas. It's not exact, and they're kind of wrinkled. And then they have a little bit of a line in the middle, and then they have some sort of wrinkles around them like this. So sometimes when I don't have time to draw the entire thing, I will just try to get some details on part of it and then, do a better job later on when maybe I'm at a picnic table. But yeah, there are a lot of details on this. But yeah, there's this little indentation like that. Okay, and so yeah, let me just keep adding some more details. We have our sun coming from this way. So I would say your stem is going to have a little bit more shadow on this side. And then again, each of these doodads, these little triangles, will be maybe a little bit more shadowed on this side, especially under each one of them. And yeah, so yeah, this is the giant sequoia. And I might just kind of add some little bit of wrinkles here to each one, the middle. And yeah, these ones are from the side a bit more. And trying not to get too exact. Again, they're kind of diamond shaped. And so I would love if you're enjoying this series of quick sketching exercises, if you would click the share button, click the follow button or the subscribe button, whatever you have on the platform you're watching. And I love to just jump on here for a few minutes during the day, and it helps me to keep drawing as well. And once you get a pencil on the paper and start drawing, you'll find maybe that you're inspired to keep doing it. And so it's a way to just get started. If you just say, "Oh, I'm just going to put in, 10 minutes," and then go back to my day. But you'll often find that it is more interesting, that you'll get more interested and more in your right brain and really enjoying the process and might just stick around longer. But it's so therapeutic to spend a few minutes of your day in your right brain, just drawing, not worrying about the past or the future. And so, yeah, the giant sequoia, isn't it cool? And so, oh yeah, so I was going to blend with my blending stomp. That helps to make things a little bit more realistic and blending in those shadows more. And you can watch the previous versions of this series. I've done it for, I don't know, about 10 times now. So you can watch previous ones, and they're all using these simple charcoal pencils. So that's starting to look a little bit more realistic. And then maybe add a little bit of shadow here. We're just about out of time. So yeah, the giant sequoia, one of the tallest, most oldest living, largest diameter trees in the world, with one of the smallest endemic ranges just in central California, but planted widely around the world for their beauty. And of course, their shade properties. So, yeah, if you're enjoying this, please click the share button and share this with someone. Giant sequoia. How's it looking? It's looking pretty good. Oh, there we go. Ran out of time. So let's see. Where are we at here? There we go. Well, live and replay viewers, I hope you enjoyed this 10 minutes of sketching today with the giant sequoia conifer cone. And I hope someday that you'll get to see one of these out in nature or at a botanical garden. But the giant sequoia forests are so beautiful, and their bark is such a beautiful, rich red color, especially in the wintertime when they have snow on them. It's one of my favorite times to visit the giant sequoia forests and to ski among the trees. Well, have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.